Well, two huge games for us today as the balancing act continues here at Bayern Munich. We are top of the Bundesliga after that big win against Borussia Dortmund last time out. For the first leg of the Champions League, we saw the effects of having a thinner squad than ever. We struggled late on, conceded an equaliser. And today, as we face Leipzig and Club Brugge in a space of 4 days, it's starting to get a little bit tense. And with the squad we've got at the moment, we're going to have to make some big calls. Yes, hello and welcome along to part 86 of The Head Coach with me, Daniel. We are back today to face Leipzig and Club Brugge in two big games across two competitions. If we get through Bruges, I'll be actually pretty happy with where we've got to in this year's Champions League. And if we beat Leipzig, we're well on course for a title, which, as I've said before, in the circumstances, becomes one of our greatest ever achievements if we can do it. We have got 3 games in 7 days, though, and we're going to have to make some very big decisions. I'm hoping that with Augsburg being second bottom next weekend, we might be able to rest a few if need be. But for now, if you're looking forward to seeing how we navigate these 2 games, and what happened in those 2 pretty tense games that you can see at the top right of the screen, and please do put a thumbs up on the video. As you can see from the team news for today's game, the injury and suspension news is growing. 4 attacking players all unavailable for various reasons. But let's have a look at the schedule for what's been happening since you were last here, where it's just been a couple of games, but it's been a little bit more difficult against good opposition. Against Frankfurt, we relied on a pretty late winner from Florian Wirtz. We went 2 goals to 1 up as those 2 and Helsen off the bench became a star. But it was a tense game, it was pretty tight, and it wasn't our greatest performance. And then away at Club Brugge, you can see the problem. Wirtz and Hervenhov in the first half put us in a really good position. We did well, and then we got past the hour mark. There were a few that really tired. We had to take them off. We had to rotate a bit from the start as well. And it just came back to catch us out because with the greatest of respect to them, we're either leaving on very tired players or we're bringing on the likes of, in this case, Heidenfelder, McKendy and Nauer, who aren't great for knockout football in a Champions League. And it ended up costing us the draw. If we'd won 2-0, you could have said maybe we'd be through and could rest everyone next midweek. But it's a delicate balancing act. And if it had been Augsburg this weekend and Leipzig next, I might well have done that. But the fatigue was just too much. So that's where we've got problems today. As you remember from the last episode, we lost yet more squad players. Stefan Minkvitz sold the wonder kid. We also lost Markovic and Orters, who are key parts of that defensive rotation. And probably the 2 best young players, in fact, with Minkvitz, the best 3 that we did promote this season. Now we're left with a squad that's perilously thin, and that's after the players that we've promoted. We've got some absolute stinkers on the bench. Players that, like Torsten Veninger, is 23. He should not be anywhere near a Bayern Munich team. He wouldn't look out of place in the National League South. That is the sort of level that we're talking about for Bayern Munich's backup centre-half at the minute. With Pino out again today as well, we're just going to have to try and make it work because we know Skelly's out for multiple weeks yet. We know Ribeiro's gone for this season and the start of next. It's not a great position, and combined with the Sabaya suspension, we're having to really juggle things in midfield, as you can see, which may not pay off. So let's go and get through to it. We are 5 points clear. Dortmund tomorrow have got a toughish game away at Mainz, who have given us some trouble this season. You would expect Bayer Leverkusen to win as well. But a win here just takes us away, doesn't it? If we could win this and Dortmund could drop points, it could be the perfect weekend. But this is the squad we've got fit to do it, and it doesn't fill me with much hope. They've still got Sky Vink, they've still got Danny Olmo. There's some quality players in that team. A couple of very good young ones as well. And as the Allianz Arena is expectant, it's not just the fact that we've not got much in terms of rotation. I mean, if you look at the bench, the only senior players are a knackered Helsen, Hervenhov as a striker, and Crumry the goalkeeper. It's then 6 youth players, 3 of which I really wouldn't like to see on the pitch. We've got Marquinhos, who we've gambled on from the start, who's not match fit and keeps picking up little knocks. And we've had to go for Korsavich playing in midfield for the first time with Altrock at centre-half. And I've no idea whether that will work out. The only solace I can take is that in midweek we will have Sabaya back. But then will one of the centre-halves miss out as a result? I just don't know. This is the 11 we've gone for. It is not a bad 11 to be fair. Bar all Trockett's pretty first choice. Vanna and Marquinhos hopefully can do the job. And Justin DL needs to add to his 1 goal as we've gone for Trubin between the sticks. Thiago Fernandez and Alphonso Davies, the 2 at fullback, with De Ligt joined by Altrock as centre-half. Korsavich pushes into midfield alongside Paul Vanna, with Florian Wirtz, the number 10, who was brilliant in midweek. And then Marquinhos and Dylan Sanchez out wide. Just had a couple of poor performances recently. And Justin DL through the middle up front, looking to add to his first goal for the club. A very average squad on paper, so we need the first 11 to deliver. If it doesn't, or if we get into trouble, or as we predict run out of steam, we could be in a spot of bother later in this game. It's another one of those where I feel to succeed, we probably need to be 3 or 4 goals up as a minimum. As Julian Nagelsmann, the former Bayern man, the former Germany manager, is in charge of Leipzig here. So let's go and say, give us a boost. We're doing pretty well. Heavy snow, an icy pitch, not quite the conditions we want. Let's just get this out of the way. And please, just let me avoid more injuries. We're already at 3 and we can't have any more. Well, early free kick for Paul Vanna here and it's just over the bar. We do need those moments of inspiration and they have generally come in the league this year. We've won a lot of games tight by 1 goal and then a few by 5 or 6. Not really many just comfortable 2 or 3s in between. And as Alphonso Davies picks up yet another early yellow, we are under a bit of pressure here, though. We win the ball back in the middle with Vanna, who I've got to say has come back and been phenomenal as Dylan Sanchez puts one over. He's been very much the opposite the last couple of games, but we've got those players who just can't perform when they're fatigued, and he is one of those. Luckily, Helson is a great sub there, but he's now tired too. It's all a juggling act, and we're running out of players left to juggle as Wirtz plays a 1-2 with Sanchez on the left. Knocks it past his opponent. Hopefully, can nick himself an assist here. It's a great ball in, and Florian Wirtz is the man at the moment. He's found form at the perfect time. That little injury a month or 2 ago just allowed him to boost a bit of fitness. And now he's come back. He's not as fatigued as the rest. And Dylan Sanchez gets that assist that knocks his rating up, which he desperately needed. As Wirtz puts the corner in. Headed away back out to him again. 2 on the edge. Korsavich 1. Back to Paul Vanna. He goes for the shot just wide. And it's out for a goal kick. Half an hour gone. Happy with the position we're in. I mean, I've no idea at this point whether the other squads in the Bundesliga are having similar problems. I'd guess not from the fact that, like, Minkwitz went to Bayer Leverkusen on deadline day. But we've got a free kick in a dangerous position. And while Vanna is now on the taking duties, it's a bit central probably for a goal. Let's see if he can prove me wrong. Plenty of support in the box as Vanna goes alone. Tip just wide. It's a good effort. Got fairly near the corner as well, to be fair to him. It's dealt with relatively comfortably. It's out for a Florian Wirtz corner, which is into De Ligt at the back post. Get in there, boys. I've said it all along. If we can keep most of the 11 fit, we'll be all right. Because we have got some quality players, some experienced ones. God knows what this team will look like next year. But Florian Wirtz, the corner delivery's great. And now it's Korsavich up. Vanna picks the ball up on the left to Wirtz. Chance to take on his man. Cuts inside for Korsavich. He's got support from Alphonso Davies on the left. Goes for a right-footed effort. And it's just wide as we move in the first half stoppage time. 2-0 is the score. And I'm really happy with the performance. But the problem becomes like the Bruges game. We're going to have fatigue around the hour mark. And in that one, we threw away the lead. So I won't really be confident until we get one more. As Paulo Guerrero goes back to Costello. Not sure if Leipzig played midweek. As Marquinhos nicks the ball on the right. He is struggling a tad. Finds Florian Wirtz though, who is far from that. Into Marquinhos. He could do with a moment. He's not struggling anymore. Great goal from him. We wanted to get an hour into the legs, hopefully without an injury. And the commentary's calling it early. We're playing with a swagger of potential champions. Yes, we are, but we're 2 injuries away from playing a youth team, which is where the problem is. Let's see out this move, and then I think Marquinhos will be the first sub. We'll probably look after Davies on his yellow as well. Oh, that's awful from Leipzig. Playing out from the back. Sanchez nicks it on the edge. And that's exactly what he needed. Just taps it into the corner. Easy as you like. With an hour gone, Marquinhos will come off. How far is Davies from a suspension? He's still got another one after this, so he can come off as well. We'll go for Rafa Nauer at fullback. I'm going to bring off Marquinhos for McKendy. We'll bring on Hervenhoff for Florian Wirtz, who is at the moment the most crucial player to keep fit. Paul Vanna, I think, will come off as well. We've got Bullhoser and we've also got Hornschuh, who is a little bit better if he plays further forward. So we might go for that. No actual holding midfielders on now. We'll put him onto a defensive duty there as well, just to protect us. That's 4 changes. I think we'll give it 10 more. And then I might do one of the centre halves. Not that I've got a replacement. I could put Helson left back. It's something I've done a few times. It's a long throw for Leipzig. Let's just avoid conceding first. As they flick on a long throw. Nearly goes in. We've really struggled to deal with them in FM24 across every save. You can see Korsavich is struggling, but it's a good job we didn't make the sub, isn't it? Justin Diel, who I was leaving on with the hope of getting a goal, is now injured. And we're going to miss out on a chance yet again to rest one of the senior players, which is so infuriating. So I think I'm going to have to bring on Bullhoser now. And we'll go Hornschuh as the number 10, which is his actual natural role. Helson gets a complete rest. And Bullhoser goes back in as a support duty holding mids. I mean, it's again, I say what I said against Dortmund last episode. It's a good job with 4 up. I mean, you look at the way Leipzig are playing. We've had a third of the ball. We're chasing it a lot. The leg is up at the back stick. It's over the bar. But you can see now where we would have rested either a Korsavich or a Fernandez. We're going to have fatigue legs in midweek. Yes, Helson can come in from the start. Yes, Hervenhoff can replace DL. There are not many more attacking players left. And if that DL injury's bad, Ribeiro's out for the season. We lose him as well. We could be in big trouble. As Sanchez plays in Hervenhoff. Could do with him finding form, but he's offside. He did look it. Doesn't get the chance to put the rebound in. 4-0, 15 minutes to go. But again, all I'm worried about is another attacking injury. Can Sanchez make it to the end? We have to rest him midweek. And we have to hope it's enough to beat Club Brugge. But for now, I said it from the start, the Bundesliga title would be a miracle. And if we can get it, it will be a great achievement. And it will be job done in a way. Korsavich in midfield, unnatural there, gave the ball away. One back by Sadat, but well done McKendy, the youngster. The lid gets it into Hornschuh. Not really good enough for the level, and that pass proves it. Square across goal, gives it away. Might give our clean sheet away as well. It does. Antonio in behind Rafa Nauer, who just isn't a fullback anyway. And he's not good enough to deal with that. 4-1, their first shot on target. A comfortable win. We rested a few, but it's another injury. Let's see how bad it is. And then we'll go and get ahead to the big game against Club Brugge. Well, we need a win to get through. Well, here's the news. We wait to see how bad it is. It's 3 weeks, which it could be worse. But also, in the spell of games we've got now, let's look at if we do get through. Best case scenario, he misses this game, Augsburg, Freiburg, the first leg of the next game, and possibly Hamburg as well. It's not a great situation, is it? We've got that horrible run in later as well. Ultrock's going to get a pay rise soon. Sanchez a big bonus. What a performance from him. And pressing high to get the ball back for that 4th goal as he keeps being linked with Newcastle. Don't want to lose any more senior players. We can barely put 11 out as it is. Has Pino got any chance for midweek? With full fitness in 1 day, so he should be able to play at least half the game. And Marquinhos is in a similar boat. So if between them they can do one, Hervenhoff and Helson can come in. Sabaya will be back having had the weekend off. And we might have to gamble on one more youngster coming in. But otherwise, it could be worse. We've got 3 days to avoid another injury, though. Let's see if we can. Well, here comes the second of the big double-header. Home advantage should be enough, but we've got the problems with injury still. Marquinhos, it says is fit. We should have Pino back on the bench. There's also a lot of staff coming in, including ones with very interesting names. Dick Brewer, the new sports scientist. There's an interesting one. No more comment on that. Let's get through this game with Augsburg in mind as well, because we don't want to blow the title. We've also had the warning last night in the Champions League. Fiorentina were 3 up against Arsenal. They lost 5-0 after extra time. There's a lot going on tonight. Leipzig have got Spurs. They've got a chance to get through and help Germany as well. So let's see what we can put out. It's a decent Bruges team. They've got bits of experience with Vetlesen, with Zaniolo. They've also got a few very good young players. They've also got Van der Voort in goal too. So there is quality all over the pitch. If I show you Thiago, it's a pretty good centre forward, isn't he? And a big target man as well. So let's see at the 11 we can put out how many of ours is fit. Well, all 10 bar DL who's injured are all right. We've also lost another youth player in Colner. And perhaps a bit more worryingly, bar Altrock, everyone's now got a really heavy match load. So we are at the point where someone's going to break down and it's just a matter of who. For now though, let's rotate as much as I feel we can get away with. In the end, the Bundesliga is the priority. I want to get through in the Champions League. Back in a moment to run through the 11. Right then, I think we've been quite cautious by making just 4 changes to the team. One of them a strengthening one with Sabaya coming back in. You could argue 2 actually, because Pino replaces Marquinhos, so I want to manage so he doesn't get injured again. Helson and Hervenhoff we've already talked about coming in. The players to drop out, Sanchez, Marquinhos, De Ligt, and I can't even remember who the other one is. Oh, DL who got injured up front. So that means on the bench today, there are a few senior options, namely the 3 we've dropped out plus the goalkeeper. There are a few decent youngsters there, but not enough really. So we need to be 3 or 4 up before they come on. In an ideal world, we'd be able to take off Fernandez, Korsavich, probably Paul Vanna and Wirtz as well. But let's just see how we go in the first half before we start worrying about that. Trubin stays between the sticks. The fullbacks are the same, but Altrock is joined by Korsavich, who drops back in. Sabaya goes into midfield, De Ligt drops out the team. Vanna's still there, as is Wirtz, but the front 3 are all changed. Helson, Pino and Hervenhoff in, the injured DL out, as well as Marquinhos and Sanchez, who drop to the bench. Submit the team as we go to play Club Brugge at home. This is a must-win game to get through to the last 16, and then we can say we've done okay in the Champions League as well. Derek Afori to be closed down, 2 changes for them. They've done well, they've got a good team. And they fought back well second half against us. We've also got Fikayo Tomori on the bench, who must be getting on now. Let's go and get into this second leg. It's such a big game because I just want to meet the objective for the year. As Paul Vanna's got a free kick. We can get it done early, we can get people off, but just for now, I just want it done. As Vanna finds Korsavich. Back to Davis. Plenty of options forward. Vanna's one of them. Gives the ball away, but Altrock wins it back. His fresh legs might be useful in that defence today. And De Ligt is becoming fatigued, so we look after him as here's the returning Pino. Just beaten as he tries to take on his man. Sabaya there in the middle to win it back. Only briefly though, Thiago the target man holds it up. Has support but goes backwards instead. And here is Hilgers on the right hand side. Good football to Vetlesen. Zaniolo back in as well. Real blend of youth and experience in this team. And the goalkeeper is playing again. It's a very long highlight. And that's why. Oh, Hervenhoff, how have you missed? It's an absolute sitter. A poor back pass again. 2 games in a row we've benefited from that. And Hervenhoff, he just rushed it. He had so much time and space. He could have ran to the other side before the keeper and just passed it in the empty net. He tried to be clever. He tried to put it right in the corner. And in the end, it stays 0-0. And it's a glorious opportunity gone as we've got a free kick with Vanna 23 minutes in. Helson at the back stick. That's huge. And this is the one benefit of this team. When one world-class left winger's out, another match-winning world-class one comes in. The players we have got at senior level are unbelievable. And to have 2 4.5-star left wingers, when you consider the state of our defence, is quite remarkable, really. With 10 minutes to the break, we are 1 up. And this team, it's just doing the unthinkable. We will come unstuck when we play a top side in the Champions League because we won't be able to rotate and get away with it. But for now, it's just a remarkable effort. As Jeremy Pino finds Hervenhoff. Was he onside? He puts this one away, so I'm guessing he is. No, he's not. Good finish, Hervenhoff. Makes up for his earlier misdemeanour. It's 2-0 on the night, 4-2 on aggregate. And maybe we can start planning for the last 16. The gamble of losing a few Champions League games, resting everyone against Real Madrid and United. It looks like it's paying off now because we're getting through to that round anyway. We're going to ask the lads to prove a point. We're going to go and get into the second half. It looks like Leipzig are joining us on the way through as well. Well, 10 minutes gone in the second half. And really, as Club Brugge are on the attack, I'm just looking for one more at the other end so we can start to rotate. We know they're capable of coming back from 2 in this position. And we know we're going to run out of steam eventually. As we do in every game pretty much now. Malatrazi goes back to his centre-half partner. And here's Asante cutting in the middle. Hervenhoff's been really fresh up there. But for the next 3 weeks, he's the only fit striker. He's got to keep himself fresh. Sabaya finds Pino on the right. Out wide to Fernandez. Support inside. Finds Pino again. Good football. Back to Florian Wirtz. He gets another goal. The boy is on fire. After a fairly slow first half of the year, he's adapted to the role. He's at the top of his game. And he's scoring goals galore for us. Now, we will give it another 5 minutes. We don't want to go a little bit too quickly here, because we know they're capable of coming back into it. If we can get a fourth from this, I'll be in dreamland. We can't. Awful delivery. Van der Voort deals with it. But it will be substitutions as soon as this highlight's over. Unless perhaps they score, it will make less than we intended. Fernandez gets it back though and finds Jeremy Pino. Flying challenge which doesn't help us. Van der Voort plays out again. Force long. Alphonso Davies up. Finds Vanna and we're away. Helson down the left. Go on, take him on. You should be fresh. You didn't even feature at the weekend. Wirtz plays in Hervenhoff. He looks fresh. But the shot's blocked. He's wasting chances. Fernandez blooms it over. And that's his cue to come off, I think. He's 1 yellow from a suspension as well. So 2 reasons to get him off the pitch. We're going to bring on Rafa Nauer at right wing back. Not ideal, I know. I also want to get Paul Vanna off. And what I'm going to do, I was going to drop Wirtz in, but actually that doesn't make sense because I want to take him off as well. So my options then are either Mori Tori, who's from the under-16s but got a great personality, or again to go for Hornshaw, which I think is what I'm going to opt for. Wirtz will come off for Marquinhos, and we'll put Pino in the middle. We're also looking at either Korsavich or Davis. I guess I could do the swap with De Ligt in for Korsavich. Both of them get plenty of rest then. And then the final substitution, in an ideal world, it's Alphonso Davies. But for now, it's going to be nobody. We'll just see it out for another 5 or 10. Because last time, we left it at 4. We got an injury, didn't we? So I don't want to be, again, too quick with the substitutions. As Helson's got a free kick to the back post for Rafa Nauer. It's the bar. Ultrock there. Even the youngsters are getting in on the act. Helson challenged well, and he's got a chance to cross again. It goes back to Rafa Nauer. The woodwork away from a Champions League goal. Hornshaw finds Marquinhos and Davis. De Ligt out on the left back to Ultrock. It's intercepted. But that is now, what, 3 young players from the academy on the pitch. And we're still competing well. But on the break, Club Brugge have got men over. It's out to Zaniolo on the right. Could be 3-1. Oh, it's a free kick. I thought he'd given a penalty for that tackle. I was about to lose my marbles. With 15 to go, though, we're going to look at subs, and I'm going to have to plan the weekend because Pino's the most tired. But we've got Sanchez coming back in. Wirtz has had a rest at the end. As now has given an assist away. Oh, he's put it wide. I thought it was in. Great save by the keeper. Do I rest Jeremy Pino or do I go for Alphonso Davies, who is looking a bit suspect at left back now? I mean, who do I bring on? Probably McKendy. I'm going to go McKendy for Davis. Now at a left back. Pino can have the weekend off if need be. And we'll go Sanchez, Marquinhos and Helson. Wirtz as number 10. Let's get McKendy on out there. And let's hope that Nauer, being a natural defender, will be a bit better at left back. Bit worried about the complacency. But Trubin, that's why he's a world-class keeper. He saves us when we get into bother. Headed away by Nauer. Jeremy Pino will chase. He forces the throw away. I'm going to praise the performance. We've been really good tonight. And yet again, a thoroughly professional job well done. Leipzig have done the same, recovering from their defeat against us. And while there are a couple of players with tired legs for Saturday, I think bar Helson they'll be alright, which is exactly what I was wanting. 3-0, no dramas in the Champions League. We're through to the final 16. Now, do we get the draw this week before we move on? We didn't get that luxury with Marseille. If we do, we'll see it before we leave. So let's go and have a quick look. Who will we be facing in the next round? Do we get to find out? Let's have a look at the schedule. The draw is tomorrow. We'll stick around then. We'll find out who we're facing in a moment. Well, I'm not going to bore you with the draw because it does take a while here, but I will show you who is in here if I can. Let's just pause it before we start. So the unseeded teams, you can see who's got through. We're in that pot. I've muted the music so you don't have to put up with it. The seeded teams, Ajax, United, Newcastle, Juve, PSG, Liverpool, Real Madrid, City. If we're being honest here, the only draw I would feel confident about is Ajax. We did beat Juve in the groups, which was okay, but it wasn't a convincing win. Ajax for me is the game that we have to target. If we get any of the other 6 bar those 2, I think we're probably second favourites. Let's skip the draw, see who we're facing. Cross your fingers, everyone. We're going to skip. We're going to press continue. We've got Liverpool. Okay, that's probably not going to go as well. If it had been Liverpool in the Southend save, where they've had administration and all sorts of trouble, might have been all right. But here, Didier Deschamps in charge. Still got the experience of Szoboszlai and of Alexander-Arnold. They battered our Bournemouth team a couple of times, didn't they? They've got Callum Joyce, one of the best strikers in the world up front. Young Lamin Chawara, pretty world-class winger as well. It's just, again, the perfect blend of youth and experience. They've got 3 or 4, in fact 5 really exciting young players in the squad. Ben Doak sort of in the middle. And then a couple of bits of brilliant experience with original still there too. Not going to be an easy tie, but for now, we're just happy to be where we are. Top of the Bundesliga by 5 points. The other 2 did do their job last weekend. And now with Augsburg, who are second bottom, I'm hoping that we can get away with resting a few. For us though, we're going to be back for the second leg of that Liverpool tie and then the Hamburg game on the 12th of March. They're in that top 8 that are sort of competing with us this season. And away from home, that'll be one of our toughest games between now and the end of the year. We'll follow that with Leverkusen and Frankfurt in the Cup semi, both away from home as well. It's going to be a big end to the season. And with multiple players out, it could become quite tricky too. If you enjoyed this one though, 2 very good performances and another injury to add to the books, then please do put a thumbs up on it. Subscribe and turn that notification bell on to stay up to date with the rest of the year. Can we keep enough players fit to make it through? I think Liverpool, we might have to take a bit of a hit, but a Bundesliga title and maybe a cup as well would be the best double we ever achieve. A massive thank you for watching as always. You can find the Southend save tomorrow before we return with this one in 2 days' time. And don't forget, after we finish this season, there will be a 2-part experiment and then we'll move to our alternate head coach where we go over to Willem II. The point at which we left Japan earlier in the save, we had 2 options. We took the realistic one, but there was another one that excited us. And we're going to start our career from that point again, but move over to the Dutch league instead. So make sure you come back and join in with that one. Links to all the playlists in the eye above, as well as our youth development guide, the Twitch channel for regular live streams, and the football podcast for loads of action during the run-in. Prediction shows galore. Come and have a bit of fun with us. But for now, thank you for watching as always. The miracle continues at Bayern. We've got 3 months to go. We've got a few injuries now, but hopefully we can still pick up a trophy.